The original founding, I was the youngest founding member of the Greenpeace Foundation, and we had an idea back in 1975 to save whales. We thought all we had to do was get in front of the harpoons and block the harpoons, and nobody would risk killing a human being, so that's what we were going to do. We were reading a lot of Gandhi at the time, and we thought that that would be the plan. And so in June of 1975, Robert Hunter and I found ourselves in a small inflatable boat in front of a Soviet harpoon vessel off the coast of California. This was before the 200-mile limit. And in front of us were 8 magnificent sperm whales that were fleeing for their life. And every time the harpooner on the Soviet vessel tried to get a shot, I would maneuver the boat and block his path. And this worked for about 25 minutes until the captain on the Soviet vessel came down the catwalk, screamed into the ear of the harpooner, looked at us, smiled, and brought his finger across his neck like that, and that's when I realized Gandhi wasn't going to work for us that day. And a few moments later, there's this incredible explosion, and the harpoon flew over our head and slammed into the backside of one of the whales in front of us. There was a female in the pod, and she screamed, and I tell you, it was like a woman screaming. You couldn't tell the difference. Whales scream, and they scream just like we do. And she rolled on her side in a fountain of blood, and suddenly the largest whale in that pod slapped the water with his tail, disappeared, and swam directly underneath of us. He swam directly underneath of us, and he hurled himself out of the water and straight at the harpooner on the Soviet vessel. But they were waiting for him. At point-blank range, shot another exploding harpoon into the head of the whale. He screamed, fell back, and was rolling in agony on the surface, blood everywhere. And suddenly I caught his eye, and he dove, and I saw a trail of bloody bubbles coming at our boat real fast, and he came up and out of the water at an angle so that the next move was to fall forward right on top of us. And as his head rose out of the sea, and I saw this eye, an eye the size of my fist, right there, only a couple of feet from me, rising up out of the surface of the ocean. I saw that eye, and what I saw there changed my life forever, because what I saw in that eye was understanding. The whale understood what we were trying to do, because I could see the incredible effort it made to pull himself back, his muscles clenched, and instead of falling on top of us, he went backwards. I saw his eye disappear beneath the surface of the sea, and he died. He could have killed us, chose not to do so. But I saw something else in that eye too, and it was pity. And not for himself, but for us. That we could take life so thoughtlessly, without any mercy. And I said to myself, why are the Russians killing these whales? You don't eat sperm whales, you kill sperm whales for oil. Spermaceti oil, which is used for lubricating high heat resistant machinery. And one of the things that the Soviets were building with these with spermaceti oil was intercontinental ballistic missiles. And I said, here we are, destroying this incredibly intelligent, socially complex, beautiful creature for the purpose of making a weapon meant for the mass extermination of human beings. And that's when it struck me. We're insane. Totally and completely insane. And that's when I said, I'm not doing this for people. I'm doing this for whales. And when we go to sea for our clients. And our clients are whales and sharks and seals and sea turtles and fish. That's who we represent. So when people criticize us, we don't care. We're not doing this for people. We don't care what people's opinions are. We're doing it for our clients. And if you can find one whale anywhere in the ocean that disagrees with what we do, then we will no longer do it. But we haven't found one yet. And it's incredible because when you talk about whales and their intelligence, just think, we're spending billions of dollars searching through space, looking for extraterrestrial life. The very idea that we might find a bacteria on Europa has scientists absolutely giddy. Oh my God, we might find life on Europa. Meanwhile, we're wiping out species after species after species on this planet. We do not have the maturity to go into space until we can learn to take care of the planet that we live on. So thank you very much for coming here. I hope you'll support us. the strength of our Navy. Your support makes it possible for us to go out there. And I can tell you that running ships is very expensive. Somebody once described owning a ship as standing under a cold shower dropping $100 bills down the drain continuously. And that's exactly what it is. All of our resources, we're a very unique organization in this. We do not spend money on going after money, on fundraising, on promotion. We spend it on those ships. And those ships take us to where we need to go. And those ships do the job that we need them to do for us, because they get us to where we have to be. And so that's what the support is needed for, is to operate our Navy, Neptune's Navy, the Navy for the whales, the Navy for the oceans. And right now we have 4 vessels, and we're going to be deploying 3 of them into the Southern Ocean. And your efforts here tonight are going to certainly help that. We're also sending a vessel to the Gulf to rescue turtles, although it's illegal to rescue turtles. It's a $40,000 fine if you rescue a turtle. We've decided that this isn't a democracy anymore. It's now an oiliocratic oligarchy, government by the oil companies, for the oil companies, and British Petroleum's calling the shots. But nonetheless, we will go in there and we will do what we can. But the problem is going to be that we're ever continuously going to be butting heads with these people whose only ambition really is to extract as much wealth out of the diminished resources that we have that they possibly can. And it's up to us to stand up and oppose that. It's up to us to protect life on this planet. To give you an idea of how difficult the situation is, there's a video game that some people might be familiar with called Warcraft. It has 21 million paying subscribers. 21 million people pay $15 a month to play a fantasy game. There is not a single, in fact, the entire cumulative membership of all the environmental conservation organizations in this country does not outnumber the people playing Warcraft. So people are retreating into fantasy instead of protecting the planet that they live on. They're living on fantasy planets, doing fantasy things, while the world they live on goes to shit. We need that kind of support. Instead of 21 million people paying $15 a month to play fantasy games, we need 21 million people supporting environmental causes and conservation causes. In other words, it's time to get off the damn internet and look around the world that we're destroying. The solutions are not going to be found in cyberspace. They're going to be found right here on this planet, on the ground and in the sea. And the solutions are going to be arrived at by you and I, all of us together, using our abilities, our skills, and our experience to say, look, we care about the future. We care about what kind of world that we're going to be leaving to the children tomorrow and their children after them. Because if we don't care, there will be no future. No future for them, no future for us. That's what this is all about. We're not there out in the oceans just to protect whales, just to protect seals and fish. We're out in the oceans to protect ourselves. We're out there to make sure that humankind survives. And quite frankly, if we don't change, we're not going to survive. So this is what it's all about, taking care of our future. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of the artists who have contributed tonight, to all of the musicians and the volunteers, and to all of you for making this a very successful event. All of us together, I think, we're going to make a real difference here tonight, and we're going to leave this